What's up guys, and welcome to another episode of Hoops House. In this video, we're going to be discussing the fall of the Chicago Bulls and how a 7-footer from Finland could be the next big thing in Chicago. The Chicago Bulls have had some horrendous luck over the last few years, with Derrick Rose getting injured time and time again, ruining the potential of one of the best young point guards in years and beginning the demise of one of my favourite teams ever, the 2010-2011 Chicago Bulls. But luck hasn't been the only thing ripping this great team to shreds. The decisions of John Paxson and Gar Forman, or as they are better known, GarPax, have been sending the team into the depths of the NBA and into what could be a very long rebuild. I'll be covering the long series of terrible decisions made by GarPax in a future video, so be sure to subscribe if you're interested in that and other NBA videos. Bulls fans were already fed up with GarPax after trading Gibson and McDermott for Cameron Payne, and it got worse when the Bulls traded their first round pick and Jimmy Butler to the Timberwolves for the injured Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, and the Timberwolves first round pick. I wasn't the biggest fan of this trade at the time, as it was really a big risk. The success of the trade rides heavily on Zach LaVine recovering from his ACL and Chris Dunn getting over his poor rookie year and playing more like he did in college. Furthermore, the pick swap only moved the Bulls up 9 slots in the draft, and while moving up in the draft is good, I'm not sure it provides the same amount of value as Jimmy Butler. This trade made some Bulls fans so angry with GarPax they crowdfunded enough money to put up a billboard in Chicago asking the Bulls management to fire GarPax. But on the flip side, the trade definitely has the potential to deliver for the Bulls. Zach LaVine has shown massive potential with his high-flying dunks and streaky shooting. Plus, he was really putting it all together before his injury, averaging 18.9 points and 3 assists a game on 57.6% true shooting. While these stats might not blow you away, he was playing behind Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns when it came to scoring options, and Ricky Rubio had the ball in his hands most of the time. LaVine showed his potential with a 37-point performance without Ricky Rubio against Orlando, and a 40-point performance against Sacramento. LaVine may or may not reach his potential, but this swing for the fences type of trade is a great one if you plan on tanking, and the Bulls do look set for another top pick after this season. But the most interesting piece of this trade is who the Bulls drafted at number 7, Lauri Markkanen, the 7-foot, sharp-shooting big man out of Finland. European shooting bigs have a checkered history of success, with fans generally not wanting their teams to take risks on them. We last saw this with Kristaps Porzingis, who was booed and mocked by analysts before proving everyone wrong with his tough and skilled play. No one knows if Lauri will follow the path of Dirk Nowitzki and Porzingis, or if he'll follow the trend of Bogdanovic and Darko Milicic. Hell, he could even have a completely different career and be a solid starter for 10 plus years and never be a star or a bust. European bigs have a really small sample size in the NBA, and predicting their career off of the success of other European players seems incredibly illogical to me. In my opinion, it makes a lot more sense to judge Lauri on his skills and what he has shown in college and in international play. And over the last week or so at the Eurobasket, he has shown a lot. In his first game, Markkanen scored 22 points and had 7 rebounds to lead his underdog Finland team to an overtime victory against France. Following this, he had 24 points and 7 rebounds in a close loss to Slovenia, before dominating in Finland's double overtime victory against Poland with 27 points and 9 rebounds. For the tournament, Markkanen is averaging 24.3 points and 8.3 rebounds on 56% field goal shooting, 54% three-point shooting, and 92% free throw shooting, which gives him a true shooting score of 68%. This is absolutely out of this world for someone who shoots from range a lot and is scoring at an incredibly high volume. Markkanen is showing that he has the skill and will to hang with grown men as he outperforms a lot of other NBA players and professionals from European leagues around the world. This shooting and performance isn't just a flash in the pan for Markkanen either. His strong play for Arizona last season was what led him to getting drafted so high in the first place. He averaged 15.6 points per game to go along with 7.2 rebounds on 49.2% field goal shooting, 42.3% three-point shooting, and 83.5% free throw shooting. The dude simply balled out on the offensive end and had a PER of 25, a fantastic score for someone only playing 30.8 minutes per game. But Markkanen's potential isn't just in his counting or advanced stats, it is in his frame and the way he plays. Lauri is bloody huge, standing at 7'1" and weighing around 230 pounds. Whilst he'll definitely need to do a little bit of bulking up, he makes up for it with his quick movement for his size. Whilst he does play an outside role that is more reminiscent of a traditional stretch power forward, I think that going forward in the NBA, he'll be most effective as a centre. For now, the days of playing 2 massive big men are pretty much over, with only New Orleans pursuing the Twin Towers route with Boogie and Anthony Davis. Markkanen will struggle defensively in his first few seasons, there's no doubting that, and teams will probably run him ragged by forcing him to attempt to guard pick and rolls, but he will 100% compete and I wouldn't be surprised if the competitive nature he's shown over the last week for Finland translate over to the NBA and makes up for some of his defensive deficiencies. If Markkanen works on his defensive positioning and vertical shot altering technique, he could become a decent defender similar to Brook Lopez. Lauri will never be a defensive freak though, so before Bulls fans imagine that they're getting the next Hakeem Olajuwon, we'll need to calm down just a little bit. But defense is really Lauri's only big flaw, and boy, does his offense make up for it. Markkanen will probably end up with 100 nicknames based around the word marksman. He has a natural stroke with a high release point and is super fast to bring the ball up and releasing it with his jump shot. This combined with his height make it very difficult to get a hand in his face to contest his shot, let alone even remotely threaten to block it. Not only is his release pretty, it's incredibly effective. He has the ability to shoot from three, from the mid-range, pulling up after one or two dribbles, and is great at hitting off-balance awkward shots. This shooting will make Lauri an effective pick-and-pop player from day one of his NBA career, but the true potential of Lauri doesn't just lie in his shooting. It will be the threat of his shooting combined with his great hands on the pick and roll and his ability to pump fake and effectively drive in on defenders. When he does choose to drive in on these situations, Lauri's skills will put defenders in an incredibly awkward situation. If they don't rapidly close out, then he can pull up from the free throw line area and nail a shot he has hit a million times at Arizona and for Finland. But if they close out too quickly, he can simply drive right past them for a layup, or pass if the defense is overhelped. Lauri also has the beginnings of a post-game, with a pretty good Dirk Nowitzki one-legged fadeaway in his arsenal already. He's also effective at turning over both shoulders on both sides of the block and finishing with an array of floaters, hooks, and layups. Markkanen won't come into the NBA and dominate in the post, but it's something he should continue to develop as it will prevent teams from throwing smaller, quicker defenders on him to disrupt his perimeter play, as the Bulls will simply be able to throw him on the low block and post up a smaller player, and Markkanen will be able to get an incredibly effective shot off, and he will make it more and more as his career progresses. This potential versatility is what will make Markkanen an absolute nightmare matchup. If he can continue to develop, he will be able to score in a variety of different ways, and no defender will be able to cover them all. This will not happen consistently in his rookie season, and I do expect there to be some nightmare games for Markkanen. But there will be flashes of brilliance and potential that would excite Bulls fans in what may be a pretty dark season. And that is the key to all of this. Lauri is an incredibly unique talent. There are only a handful of players in the NBA that have his skill set and potential, and the Bulls should be excited about him. Now we just have to pray that he develops, that Levine recovers from his ACL successfully, and that GarPax don't keep trading pennies on the dollar. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you liked the video, make sure to leave a comment and a like down below and subscribe for more NBA videos from Hoops House.